Hey everybody there, man. It's Forrest the Dog here back at you, getting ready to preview Week 6 of the SEC. First thing we do, as always, given that I'm the second biggest Alabama Crimson Tide fan in the known universe, we are always going to start here with my boy Nick and his team. They're heading into Arkansas. Number 1 Crimson Tide, 35-point favorites. Alabama's 5-0, 2-0 in the conference. Visiting the Razorbacks, 1-4, 0-2. Getting ready for another early morning ass whooping here. Bama, they only given 35 points in this one. We should be on the right side of that about midway through the second quarter. And we'll be looking for another early Jalen Hurts sighting. Razorbacks, y'all are having a tough transition from the Brett Bielema era to the Chad Morris one. Now, who would have guessed that a blowhard scumbag like Brett Bielema would leave in his wake such a torrid mess? Oh yeah, me and, well, just about everybody who's ever heard of Brett Bielema. Now, if I was a Razorbacks fan, I'd still be pissed off about them getting rid of my boy Bobby Petrino. I don't care how many mistresses he dumps off the side of his motorcycle. That guy was 11-2 before he got fired. Now, better to suffer a few sexual harassment lawsuits than the never-ending barrage of embarrassing losses of the last 7 years. This is going to be an easy cover for Nick and my boys. Take Bama in the 35. Roll damn Tide. Missouri heading into South Carolina. Missouri 3-1, 0-1 in the conference. Traveling to take on the must champion and his South Carolina Gamecocks, 2-2, 1-2 in the conference. Pains me to say it, but the SEC doesn't own the best football team in the state of South Carolina. Everybody in Columbia is just walking around with a Dabo-shaped mushroom stamp on the foreheads, man. Y'all need to get your shit together. It's a tough game to pick. Now, Missouri, I know logos on your field, but you ain't really SEC material. I think we got to ship you back to the Big 12 where you belong. You're one of those teams that Nick gets mad when we don't fill the stadium to see your janky asses catch a beatdown. Feels wrong betting on the most champion, but I'm going to take the Cox, giving 2 points at home. Louisiana Monroe at Ole Miss. Rebels are giving 21 here. Louisiana Monroe 2-3. I don't know what their conference record is. They don't play in the SEC, so it don't matter. That coming in to allow the well-dressed folks at Ole Miss to witness a Rebels football victory. That's a rare thing, particularly in October. Rebels fans, 3-2, 0-2. Y'all better enjoy it. It ain't September anymore down there in Mississippi. Hugh Freeze fucked you guys so bad, you had to hire your interim head coach. Now, he may be an interim head coach, but y'all are in for a continuation of your permanent ass whooping. Brief reprieve this week. Rebels take the win, but the money goes on Monroe getting their 21 points. Number 13, Kentucky at Texas A&M. Texas A&M, 6.5-point favorites. Now, Kentucky football program essentially ended back in 1953 when Bear left. Everything else since then is essentially just a very complex computer simulation. Wildcats 5-0, 3-0 in the conference. Hold up, man. 3-0 in the conference. Hey, I guess that's what it says. They heading into College Station, taking on the Aggies. Aggies 3-2, 1-1 in the conference. Now, Jimbo Fisher, he got caught catching that face mask from that kid yesterday. People losing their cool about that. A lot of people saying he was out of line. I'll tell you what, I guess he was. If we're teaching 4-year-olds how to finger paint, you ain't done nothing wrong, Jimbo, except cover that spread 2 weeks ago against Bama. That was a tough beat for me. Party's over, Wildcats. Y'all are on the tracks, and the reality train's passing through the station. A&M's going to roll it home, take the Aggies, giving the 6.5. Vanderbilt at number 2, Georgia. Georgia giving 27 points here. Now, number 2, Georgia's 5-0, 3-0. And they are hosting these insufferable assholes from Tennessee. Vanderbilt 3-2, 0-1, getting ready to assume the position for 8 straight weeks of SEC ass whoopings. Kirby Smart's one hell of a coach, and he got his boys ready to go every week. Now, sound familiar? 27 shouldn't be a problem for Georgia. I'd never put my money on Vandy. I respect myself too much for that. Number 8, Auburn, 3.5-point favorites heading into Mississippi State. Gus Malzahn taking out arch nemesis, 4-1, 1-1 the conference. Into Starksville to shut up 100,000 assholes shaking cowbells. Those things are the vuvuzelas of the NCAA. They should outlaw those things, man. I mean, not because they give them a competitive advantage. I mean, obviously they don't give them a competitive advantage. Otherwise, the Bulldogs would have more than one SEC title to show for it. Had yourselves a hell of a party back in 41, though, didn't you? Bulldogs 3-2, 0-2. They're heading on their way to 0-3 in the conference. This is one of my best bets of the week. Get on this now before the line moves too much. Hate betting on the Tigers, but I'd hate more losing money with them on the other side of the ball. Take Auburn, giving the 3.5. Number 5, LSU, 2.5-point favorites heading into number 22, Florida. LSU 5-0. 2-0 heading into the Swamp to face Filipinas Franks and the pathetic Gators offense. The Gators, 4-1, won the Mullen Bowl, but there's a different animal heading their way this week. It's been a solid decade since either of these two schools had a QB that could throw a catchable ball. It's going to be a battle of field goals and turnovers. I miss Dear Les Miles tremendously, but if he had to go, I'm glad it was Ed Ogeron that took his place. Ed says, "We coming." And I think he means it. Those 2.5 points is just few enough to feel comfortable that LSU can outkick the Gators. Take the Tigers, giving the 2.5. Hey, I got some great news for you Tennessee Vols fans. No game for you guys this week, man. Looks like you'll have to wait another week to extend that impressive SEC losing streak, you collective sack of turds. That'll be it. That's going to do it for this week's preview and picks. Like, comment, subscribe, and roll damn Tide.